Yo, man is back from the dead and shit has changed. Obviously it's been 7 months since I uploaded, and yeah, I mean, a lot has changed since then, all around the world, obviously with this whole bloody coronavirus. And because of that, well, everyone online just started like reconnecting again because, well, for me personally, I got made redundant in my old job, and since then I started working nights at a warehouse, and they also do deliveries. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, during the whole lockdown, obviously we all had a lot more time. We all were staying indoors, and because of that, we increased our time online, and we resorted back to Pokemon Showdown and whatnot. And yeah, in that time, I was just really bored, and I thought, you know what, I might as well just start playing Pokemon again. And in that time, I joined 2 draft leagues, one of which I will be uploading right now, and I'll do the other one after this one. And yeah, I mean, that's where we are today. I'm really bored. Yeah, it's kind of normal again, I guess. The lockdown is mostly over. Gyms are open. I've been going back, and yeah, I mean, it's not bad, but basically those 2 leagues which I did, I just wanted to upload them because I'm really bored, and that's what I'll be doing today. This one is, of course, for the league in where I started it all, Sunnyshore League, also known as SSL. Shout out Skagarak and everyone else who made that, because that's basically what got me into league in the first place 5 years ago. Since then, I've just been absolutely smashing it, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, this is like the 6th season or something. It's not much of an active league. This basically happened because of the lockdown. Like, our server was completely dead, but because of the lockdown, we started talking again, and we just thought, you know what, we might as well do a league. And we did a tournament before that as well, a mini one. I did win that, of course. No surprise there. Joking. But yeah, this video right now is going to be a draft review for Sunnyshore League. We call it Resurrection because everyone came back. And yeah, this is what I drafted. So, not gonna lie, my team was very fucking broken. Don't know how, just got very lucky. And oh yeah, I need to state that, like, these Pokemon aren't in order. I didn't basically necessarily draft Tornadus first. It was Coco first, and I didn't draft Rudra 4th and so on. I think Rudra was like 8th, but I just organized it in a way where like it all makes sense, like synergy wise. So that's what I did. But I guess I'll start with Coco because that was the first Pokemon I drafted. He was the 3rd pick of the draft, and to be honest, yeah, I mean, I was the 3rd pick of the draft, and I basically got it without even thinking. It's just, it's easily one of the best Pokemon in draft format. It's at least top 3. No one will tell you any different. And oh yeah, it's important to know that this version of Coco, this was like before the DLC. So at the time, when the Muse were leaked, this was the Coco that had Play Rough and Close Combat, but we also had no hidden powers because we weren't using that dex moves. But we did use so this Coco has Play Rough and Close Combat, and I thought that's going to be even better than Coco before, because now he actually has physical stabs and physical coverage. I can run like Wild Charge, Play Rough, Close Combat, U-Turn, or Brave Bird. So it's basically an already top 3 Pokemon that got improved even further. So I was like, you know what, I'm definitely going to get this. No 2 thoughts about it. Coco in general, just an extremely versatile Pokemon. It can go physical, it can go special, it can even go mixed if you need it. And it can even be bulky because, it's got like Taunt, Roost, it's got Screens. Just depends if the matchup needs it, really. Because Electric Fairy is a fairly unique typing that does check like a unique combination of Pokemon. Coco also has like a fantastic speed tier. Generally it's just like a very standout offensive threat that forces a lot of prep on the opponent's part. It basically, I'm not gonna lie, I think this thing has like no counters, especially in draft format. In the ladder it will, because it has like standardized sets. For example, like maybe Chansey can wall it and some bulky grasses and grounds, but in draft you can specifically counter your opponent. So like, if my opponent wants to run a bulky grass for Coco, I can just run Choice Band Brave Bird or something. So yeah, I mean, it was an easy Pokemon to start with. No counters, very fast, very good Pokemon in general. Literally can't go wrong with it, and it's easy to build around because it doesn't really require much support. So yeah, Coco was the start. Base 130 speed, already set in good speed tiers. Next up was Tornadus T. These two, yeah. So Coco was first, then Tornadus was second. I got Tornadus because, again, just like Coco, it's one of the best Pokemon in draft. It's like top three. At the time, no one would tell you any different. And it did get a new move in Nasty Plot, and that's something I really wanted to try out. Yeah, but again, just like Coco, this was a no-brainer pick. It was I was surprised it was even in round 2, by the way, because this Pokemon always goes in round 1 generally. But yeah, again, extremely versatile Pokemon. Regenerator, fantastic ability. It's got Defog. It can run Assault Vest. It just got a very wide move pool, like all that coverage, physical, special, everything. Also, it does pair well with Coco, covering the ground weakness. And I guess Coco covers the electric weakness, but not really, because Coco it's not really bulky, and it does boost electric moves itself with terrain, so it doesn't really switch into electric moves particularly well. But yeah, I mean, just those two alone, great utility, very fast offense, very pressuring offense with fantastic coverage. And yeah, I mean, Tornadus helps Coco break past like fat ground and grass types, for example, like AV Tangrowth and so on. So yeah, that was just like appreciated, and they did have like Volt Turn between them. Yeah, I mean, overall, just like a very good momentum gaining core that can also just blow past the opponent. Next up was Mega Scizor. So to be honest, this one I got because I just wanted to try it out, to be honest. I know it's a great Pokemon, like don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic Pokemon, but it was never really my type, because before I always used to look at it and just be like, okay, well, that 4 times fire weakness, something can just, this is draft format, this isn't ladder, so if I want to beat Mega Scizor, I just want HP fire and at least do a KO. And for me, that was always like a mental block for me. I just never could really see myself drafting Mega Scizor, because in my Mega slot, that's a slot I look at as like, that has to be one of my best Pokemon and one of my most reliable Pokemon. So for me, like, my Mega slot being so counterable just always made me stay away from Scizor. But obviously now in Gen 8 we didn't have hidden power, so I was really excited to use this, because that huge drawback of being weak to hidden power fire was no longer there. So I really wanted to see what this mon is about. Well, I guess it did pair well with those two, because it does cover like the unchecked ice and poison weakness, and of course, being a steel type and a bulky one at that, it's just I can't go wrong with it, because every draft does need that bulky steel type, and Mega Scizor is probably the best one in the game, to be honest, barring Ubers, of course. Yeah, I mean, also it was another pivot, and it was a slow one, so that could get in my offensive threats safely. And it did offer another slot for defog, so right now I have 3 defoggers, but Coco's not really a defogger. You won't see that on ladder, but I guess it's there as like an emergency defog. But Torn and Scizor, yeah, I mean, even Torn doesn't really want to run defog. AV, for example, can't run defog, and if it's like something else, then it just, for me, like, it appreciates coverage a lot more rather than having it to defog. So yeah, having like a proper dedicated reliable defogger was a boost to the draft. Yeah, bonuses, well, strong priority, technician, stab, bullet punch, set up potential with swords dance and sweeping, and bug steal in general, just a fantastic typing. It checks like a really unique combination of Pokemon. So yeah, that was why I picked Mega Scizor. So next up was Goodra. So at this point I thought, I've got my fairy, I've got steel, might as well just get a dragon, because a dragon is just that type that you need. For example, Goodra, for me, being the dragon type, it checked the fire and water types, which the others could not. At this point I had no fire resist or water resist, and this was like a more proper electric resist, because Coco's, it does resist electric, but it's not something you want to use as the electric resist. So yeah, that's what Goodra did. Very bulky dragon, so it did that really well. And at this point it was like round 8 or something, and all the other dragons had gone anyway. The Latis were gone, Chomp was gone, Hydreigon was gone, so it's not like I had much choice. Plus I did want a cheaper option, because I pretty much went overboard with using my points on the first 2 slots, Coco and Taunty. So yeah, that's why I got Goodra. So yeah, that's basically what Goodra in this draft is. It's just there as like a really good sponge. covering some important weaknesses with its fantastic special bulk and physical bulk. Not too bad if you do invest in it. Gudra in general, I do like that kind of Pokemon. Is obviously got like a fantastic move pool, like amazing coverage. Just look at, I'm just going through it right now. Look at all of that. It's got everything: dragon, fire, ice, water, grass, electric. Even got fighting, physical. It can go physical, special. Everything's there. So it's very hard to wall, and you can really tailor the sets to really blow past your opponent. So that was a big bonus for me. Next up was Mamoswine. Now, at this point, I was just looking at like important roles to fill, and obviously a Stealth Rocker and a Ground type are two very important roles every draft needs. So Mamoswine at that point was like a no-brainer. It is a Ground type. It does have Stealth Rock, and most other ground types had gone by then. But surprisingly, one of the best ones in the game, Mamoswine, was not, so I just picked it up without any thought. Yeah, I mean, at that current point, it was my only Stealth Rocker in the draft, so again, yeah. There's not much to explain, really. It's Mamoswine, it's a ground type, it gives Stealth Rock, massive offensive threat, bolstered my offense just that much further. Every draft is like scared of Mamoswine because it's just, those stab combinations are really fucking threatening to any draft. So yeah, I mean, I guess it also helped with like bulky grounds and grass types. That's useful to help offensively for Coco. Yeah, I mean, he also has like Ice Shard, which was a very important dragon check, because for example, my fairy was Coco, and Coco is not exactly a bulky fairy, so I wasn't really well checked to dragons. And obviously Sizzle is a steal, but pretty much every dragon has access to fire type coverage because that's what they are. They're dragons, they blow fire, and so for that reason Sizzle was easy to blow past for dragons. So against dragons my team was pretty weak, but Mamoswine did help with that, with Ice Shard to check the dragon dancers and so on. And yeah, that's pretty much it really for Mamoswine. Just there to fill up some important roles and just be a nuisance to my opponent. Chandelure was next, so at this point I'm just looking at the type chart and I just start filling out important types I need to fill. Chandelure, first thing that came to mind, because it's a ghost type. That's a really important type because it's a very spammable offensive type, and obviously it's something to spin block as well. It also offered me a fire type, which I think like every draft really appreciates on the offensive spectrum. Flash Fire also paired really well with Mega Sizzle, making players think twice about using a fire type move against it. So yeah, just that typing synergy there makes it hard for like my opponent to play against my draft. But yeah, I mean, in general, this one like a great wall breaker with specs or Calm Mind, and also a decent choice scarfer. So overall, it just rounded out the offense really nicely, gave me some important ghost and fire type coverage. And yeah, I mean, these six, like Torn, Coco, Sizzle, Gudra, Mamo, Chandelure, that was just overall very fantastic offense. No draft can truly wall that. So I figured like at this point I'm done with offense. So now I started focusing on the defense, because that's just how I do. I always go like a balanced out draft. I don't go all out offense or all out bulk. I make sure to keep a healthy amount of offense and a healthy amount of defense. So the way I started my defense was Tangrowth. So honestly, Tangrowth is something I always draft because it's just so bloody good. Like if you just look back to that Gen 7 OU, you can see how good this thing was. It was pretty much in every team, checking like so many different Pokemon. So yeah, I always start with Tangrowth because yeah, I mean, it checks in like an absolute shit ton of physical threats with that fantastic defense, and it can even check a shit ton of special threats as well, because you can give an AV max Bidef with the regen combo. It's just like, it's always there to sponge hits. The fantastic pivot switch. So yeah, it did give me a grass, which my draft did not have. I think grass, even though it's not the best typing, is a pretty important typing to have, just like as another ground immune I'm not ground, you mean ground resist and water resist, electric resist, and so on. Um, yeah, it's not even about synergy. I just picked it because it's like the best Pokemon out there, and it's easy to pair others with it. So that's what I did. The next one I got was Slowking. Again, it's a water type, of course, which every draft needs. So I got Slowking, and as a Pokemon, it paired really well with Tangrowth, making a water grass core. Chandelure did round out the fire water grass core, of course. Someone's here. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it pairs really well with Tangrowth. Obviously, grass and water is good typing synergy. They both form a region core, which is like very flipping good because, you know, just throughout the battle, I can just pivot switch between those two, not even worry about having to waste a turn with Slack Off or Recover or anything, or Synthesis from Tangrowth, because, you know, Regenerator will do that for me. And Slowking also got Teleport now, which just maintain momentum even further. So, you know, these two together are just like broken, honestly. Like, it's very hard to break past them, and that's why I just got them. Yeah, so that's what I was saying, like, my draft is really fucking broken because this is a really good draft. So yeah, I mean, I have like 2 regions, and then I have Taunty as well, so that's 3 regenerator Pokemon. So yeah, I mean, as you can see, that's why my draft was so hard to play around, and that's why it was so good. Next up was Drapion. So yeah, I mean, at this point, like, most boxes were like already ticked, but I just needed to fill out a few more. This one was being a poison type. Poison type is important because they are there to deter toxic spikes. Otherwise, your opponent will bring them if you don't have a poison type, and a dark type is also appreciated. So poison dark, again, fantastic typing. Drapion was perfect for this. I think for me it's the best poison dark out there because, you know, I just have a good history with it. I've won tournaments with it. I've won many leagues with it, and yeah, I just think it's better than like a load of Muck and like Skuntank and so on, because this one's like the most versatile. It has good speed, it's got decent attack. You know, obviously it's not especially bulky as a load of Muck, but that's fine because I'm more than happy to trade that with things like with toxic spikes, because Alola Muck and Skuntank don't get that. This thing gets toxic spikes. This thing is also pretty fast. It's got SD as well. It's got sub taunt. It just has a lot more utility than the other two. And a poison talk for me was important because that's a great check to like psychic types. You know, psychic types, you know, the fast ones with good coverage, like, you know, Alakazam, Azelf, those kind of types. You know, they get like nasty block, Calm Mind, and like just endless coverage. Those kind of Pokemon can like really blow past teams, but a poison dark like Drapion can just stop them in their tracks very hard. So yeah, that's what Drapion did. Gave me toxic spikes, filled out some important typing roles, and yeah. Next up, Archeops. To be honest, this one is just there to like literally patch holes, like the speed tier. So obviously at this point, my fastest Pokemon was Coco at 130, then Taunty at 121. After that was Drapion at 95. So the pretty big jump there from 121 to 95. So Archeops at 110 kind of like bridged that gap. And yeah, I mean, it was also a rock type, not really a bad type. It's just a fun Pokemon. I mean, these were the lower tiers, so I wasn't really thinking much. I was just like rounding it out. So yeah, Archeops was a fun Pokemon. You know, I just looked at it and I thought it could be a threat because in a lot of matchups, you know, given that speed tier and great offenses with like endless coverage, it just looked like really threatening in a lot of matchups. So I just got it basically. And yeah, I guess it was another Stealth Rock setter, so that helped out Mammal a bit. And you can also run Boots now, so would even Fog and just be better with switching in and so on. Last but definitely not least was Quagsire. Now this is basically my son, that's why I call it. You know, players who know me and this Pokemon, where I literally always draft it. It's mine, it's my son. Because for me it's the best lower tier pick by far, and that's all because of this ability right here, Unaware. It's just so good. It stops, like, that ability there makes Quagsire a great check to so many offensive threats. You know, the ones that boost the stats, because of course Unaware ignores all of that. And yeah, it was just we rounded out the defensive side perfectly, because obviously The defense at this point, they couldn't really handle setup sweepers because they didn't really have like unaware, so, or like, you know, good phasing moves or whatever. Because so yeah, I mean, that's why your bulk does need unaware, I feel, because any bulk with setup moves can easily be blown past. But Bagsoya with unaware stops that. So does Clefable with unaware, and so on. So basically, that's why they got Kragsa. It's just to deter a lot of you know, like dragon dances and swords dances and so on. And yeah, as another water type, it could check the ones that Slowking couldn't. For example, Slowking is weak to electric, but Kragsa isn't. Kragsa also has better physical bulk, and so on. So yeah, I mean, overall, it just rounded out the defense perfectly. So yeah, that is the draft. As you can see, very broken. I'm overall very, very happy with it. You know, I've got like 2 of the best Pokemon. You know, I've got Mega Sizzle, another top tier Mega, boosted even further with the lack of hidden power fire. Mamoswine. Yeah, I mean, offense is fantastic, defense is even better. So yeah, really excited to start the season, even though it's already finished. But yeah, that is the draft review, and we'll end it there. I'll upload week 1 probably tomorrow or something, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Peace out. Thank you for watching.